All right, guys, let's look at your packet here. The first part of this is review upon review. I think we know how SOHCAHTOA works at this point, but we're going to write it one more time just to make sure. So SOHCAHTOA, what is sine in terms of opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse?
Sine is
opposite over hypotenuse, right? Fill it in. Opposite over hypotenuse. What is cosine? Okay. What is tangent? Okay. Hopefully we know those at this point. We've done those for a while now. Okay, now looking at this little triangle here, the angles are the capital letters, the A, B, and C, and then the sides are the lowercase. So if I'm talking about angle A, what is the sine of A in terms of the little letters? A over C. What's the cosine of A? B over C. And what's the tangent of A? All right, now we're moving on. We're looking at angle B now. So what is the sine of angle B? B over C, good. Okay. Here's angle B. What's opposite of angle B? Oh, it's the hypotenuse. That's all we're doing. Okay. So what's the cosine of angle B? And the tangent of angle B? B over what? A, yeah. All right. We have to be able to set up those ratios so that we can solve for whatever's missing in our triangle, okay? All right. So let's look at number 1 here. I'm looking for the x, which is the angle. And I know the sides, the 15 and the 24. Using just that information, should I set up sine, cosine, or tangent? I should set up sine. Sine of x is going to equal what? Yes. Okay, this is why you have to bring your calculators today. So I did mention it. On your calculator, guys, do you know what you should use when you're finding the angle? Degrees is what we're going to be in. Yes, and I'll show you guys how to change the mode there if you need it. But do you remember at the beginning of last skill how we did the inverses? That's what you're going to use on your calculator to solve. So let me figure all of this out. So we had, what did we have? Sine of x equals, was it 15 over 24? Yes. Okay. So what you're going to key into your calculator is inverse sine of 15 over 24. Because remember, the inverse gives you an angle. And that's what we're looking for, is an angle. So first thing, make sure you're in the right mode. So I need you to push mode on your calculator. And make sure it says degrees. Now, guys, those of you without a calculator, does someone next to you have the calculator? Krish, are you searching? Got a lot of other things. Oh, no, you brought it with dead batteries. Ricky, I don't know if the charging is helping yours at all or not, but... All right, so make sure at least someone around you has a calculator. Share with each other. It sounds silly, but you need to actually practice, like, pushing the buttons so you know where everything is. Otherwise, you'll get there and be like, oh, I don't know how to actually type it in. So we want the third line down, degree, to be highlighted, not radian. Okay, we need to be in degree mode. Then I'm going to key in inverse sine 15 over 24. So you're going to push second sine 15 over 24. All right, is your calculator cooperating? Well, no. But still no luck, Chris? Someone swiped your calculator?
Calculators are worth money.
They are. They're pricey.
I know them.
All right, guys, if I say round to the nearest tenth, what would you tell me? 38.7. So that's what I'm going to go back here. And that one was degrees, so bigger little degrees symbol. Okay, questions on the first one? Do you guys remember doing this in geometry? Okay. I know geometry was your virtual year, so you know.
I spent 9 years.
Well, that's going to make this a little harder. All right, guys, do number 2 and 3 for me. So set it up. Everybody should be able to set it up on their paper, key it in if you have a calculator, and then share your calculator with someone next to you if they don't have a calculator. For now, yes, but you need a calculator for the test. Oh, okay. Someone left in here. Yeah.
So all the tests
You'll run to whatever the directions say. I could ask you different. Right now, 10. Later, we're going to do penalties. We're just going to practice a bunch of
Yeah, I have I've always done that. That's what I'm thinking about it. But sometimes the other thing is saying, actually, you told me that. No, I know, and I read it in this pocket, and then I like, I don't remember what I was saying. It's weird. Yeah, but it should be in the iPod. So you're like, school. Oh wow. I didn't know. I was
I don't have very many, so.
Thank you. Yes.
So multiplying by 16 makes rid of it on this side. Same thing.
Give you another minute here. Talk to each other. Did you get the same thing? Yeah, the yellow ones definitely stick out. Like, oh, you have a school calculator. It's good that you have a resource. It's handy.
I'm just like,
Yes, exactly. First time all year. One of the only times.
plus CE is like, it's really the updated version. It's like
Yes. Yeah, or like divide it, however algebraically you'd have to solve. Yeah. Yes. That would be correct. Yeah. We'll get there in just a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Should be, it's intended to be a pretty easy day. So. All right, guys, what'd you get for number 2? 43.3. Yep, that one was degrees. And number 3?
28.4.
Yes. Okay. Oh no, that's just never gonna go away now, is it? All right, so that was to find an angle. We are going to find a side now. So you set it up the same way. You're just solving for a different part. So do you guys see that it would be sine of 28 equals x over 19? Okay, algebraically now, how do I solve for x? Multiply by 19. Because that's the angle you were given. No, because we're so only inverse when you're solving for an angle. We're solving for a side here, so you just key it in. You do 19 sine of 28.
We're not looking for 28, we're looking for sine. Looking for x, we're looking for sine.
So if you look at the 28, the x, and the 19, is that opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse? What is it?
Well, 28 is 19 is hypotenuse.
Okay, and if you're referencing the angle that's 28, what is the x?
You're referencing.
Like if I'm looking at 28, is x opposite or adjacent? Okay, so should I use sine or cosine? Yes, a 19, because when you're solving for x, you multiply both sides by 19. Yep. What do we get, guys? 8.9. Nearest tenth still. And guys, is it degrees this time? No, it's a side. Okay. All right, try 5 and 6.
So we're given an angle. We're given an angle, we're looking for an integral only when it's looking. But if we're given the angle, like the number, find the side.
Well, look where the variable is. Is the variable a side or an angle? Okay, then you're looking for a side. Don't overthink that. No, it wouldn't be in degrees. The angles, like 1, 2, and 3, do you see how the x is where the angle goes? Yeah, so those were degrees.
And x just on the bottom of 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep, see how it says finding side measures. Don't get lost, Adam. Good advice, Drew. Good advice.
If we could sub asked if you went to the bathroom.
I got a note about that one. Yeah.
It sounds like
it's got like full color. It's better to get the numbers are and also and for a graphic calculator, then you know that it's better. You did also, you can
wow, what a difference. Just checking. Yeah.
You're finding sides. Is it always the line? Is it always the line?
Not necessarily. It depends on what you are given. So these are set up that way. I'll show you one where it's not, though. Okay. Because Krish, what if you ended up like I'm just making one up? What if it was like sine of 22 equals 5 over x? Do you see how that's different? Okay. Oh my God, it's fading away. All right, guys, let's go through these. Did you use sine, cosine, or tangent for number 5? Okay, tangent of 41 equals x over 32. What did you get? Agreed. All right, and then number 6, what'd you set it up with? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Cosine. And what did you get? Yes, 24.3. Good so far, guys? Anybody need more time on these first 6? Okay.
Well, just give you a couple times. Says it's 2:18 a.m.
What good does that do to you?
Wait, what, bro? Yours says it's 1:30 a.m. Just no better.
Both very inaccurate time tellers.
Bro, it says it's 2002.
They weren't even alive.
Hey, at least I'm close to it.
Julian, you good?
That's probably when yours is strong. It's probably in 2008. I mean, this is from 2015, so it's like so much sooner. You just have the ability to change the color. Because what if you have multiple lines of the same?
Wait, what is that? Julian, keep working. I'm just going to go to the next slide, okay? All right, guys, if you turn the page in your packet, I know some of you already have. Now I'm giving you a triangle with not just one variable, but 3 variables. So what you have to do here is solve for anything that's missing. So like at number 1, we're going to find x, we're going to find a, and we're going to find c. Let's do this one together, and then I'll give you some time to try a few of these. X should be the easiest. What is x? 56. How do we know that? Yeah, you know there's 180 degrees in the triangle, so you can subtract the 90 and all of that, or you just know x and 34 have to be 90, and you could do that. From there, let's find a first. What do you think I should set up to find a?
Tangent.
Yeah, tangent of 34. What is that going to equal? A over 8. I don't know why that's hard to say, but it is. Okay. Solve for a. Multiply both sides by 8. Did we get 5.4?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. To find side C, do you think I should use that rounded 5.4 when I'm solving for C? No, definitely never use a rounded answer to find another answer. You could use, you know, in your calculator, you've got like 5.39606813, like you could go up and store that value and then use that. But there's an easier way. We'll have to do that some other time, but not today. So we can just use like the 8, the 34, and the C. What could I set up there? Yeah, so cosine of 34 equals 8 over C. Algebraically slightly different, right? The variable's now in the denominator. How do I solve that? Yep. Good. Multiply by C. And then divide by cosine. What do we get?
Didn't you just say that's Pythagorean theorem?
But A is a rounded value. So you'd be like slightly off if you did that. Yes, exactly. And then I'd say wrong. Did we get 9.6? And sometimes I'll have you go to like 3 decimal places, and then you're definitely off. Okay. You will have to use Pythagorean theorem at some point here, though. All right, questions on number 1? Do number 3 and number 5 for me, okay? Actually, 3 and 5 are good. If you did 2 already, that's fine. I'll put the answers up for that one. Yeah, we're not going to do everything. So do 3 and 5. If you got 2 done already, good job. There's the answers for 2 if you did it, and 1 to check. Otherwise, do 3 and 5 for me. Like when you're solving for the side. Give me the decimal, like round to the nearest 10. Yep. I know you're not used to that. You're like, shouldn't I just simplify? What? I don't know if I have any that are working. I'll check.
Oh, I think it's because this 5.5. If it's 10,
Yeah, but it's not multiplying by 4. Oh, would it? Or which one? Okay. Okay.
Oh, you should. You can use cosine. But is it that not? Is this?
Yeah, but I didn't want to use
I'm not using.
Yeah.
This would be Doc's number. But I know this number.
So. Maybe your calculator doesn't put your setup on.
You take the
C is always the one.
I know it's not right, but state.
Sine of 47.
So I use that.
Yeah, so sine of 47.
I use 81.
Over divided by. Okay, and what?
He's at a 9, so okay, I have a question.
This is like a question for 1/3.
On this to the nearest.
Okay, just make sure I understand what your test. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Would 1/3
I don't know.
I'm telling you why. Yeah, JC doesn't want it.
Okay.
But why can't you just that's one time to see?
And then 5 is 5 so 47 plus 9.
So like what about 2 and 9?
Oh,
This just rounds to 2.3. I know.
You are.
You
just gave me the opportunity. No, like you're combining your lines. I'm just adding them.
That's just, and how do we put that in? 4, so.
Does that make sense?
Cosine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, cosine.
It's gonna be an S.
We should do the same thing.
Yep. No, I'm really bad. I don't know why you want mine.
Oh, you're hurt.
It's simple as that. I was Are you working hard or hard? What class is it? Latin. Wait, are you in? Oh no, you're in both. Drivers.
Very. It looks like that. That driver's history. Didn't like it at all. Okay.
I'm thinking I was gonna do the Northwest second single and you
All right, guys. Let me go over 3, and then I'll give you another minute to finish up number 5. Remember, I said 3 and 5. What did you get for X in number 3? 43. Okay, we're good on that. Then I can do. You can do it 2 ways. You can do tangent of 43 or tangent of 47. I'm going to do this one just to remind you how to solve when the variable's in the denominator. Remember, you multiply both sides by whatever's in that denominator. So we get b times tangent of 47 equals 4. And then how do I get b by itself? Divide by tangent of 47, yeah. So did we get 3.7 for b? Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to use, let's say, sine of 47. equals 4 over c. Going back to those values that I know, not my rounded value. Again, when you multiply by c and then divide, are we okay getting to this point of 4 over sine of 47? Does that make sense?
47.
Yes.
I just did cosine of 43.
That's fine. You should get 5.5 for c. Okay. What did you do?
The opposite of my
No, what did you set up for your equation for the hypotenuse? Tangent doesn't involve the hypotenuse, so you can't use that to find the hypotenuse.
No, say that. Oh, never mind.
What?
No, never mind.
Are you sure? Okay. Do you see why it's sine?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, try number 5. I know some of you did 4, but go ahead and try 5 for me, and then we'll get to the word problems. How are you going to find A on this one, guys? Yes, Pythagorean theorem. Mm-hmm. We're rounding things to the nearest tenth. That's great. You don't have to use that answer for anything else, but you can write down a decimal answer. Not if I tell you to round to the nearest tenth, which I know feels wrong. You're so used to just finding a simplified radical for it. But if I'm telling you what to round to, give me the decimal answer. Yep. 10th. You can do it, Maddie. Did you guys do number 5 already? What? Did you guys do number 5?
Yeah.
And then do number 5.
Oh, like you have like the devil and angel.
Yeah,
Butterfly
except
on both shoulders.
it's less like that and more of a don't feel it.
So you've been the same.
I think it's we don't need it. Oh, I should do this today. But I don't.
Some people can't have this thing called like they can see like like as if they're like when you close it, it's like sit there and it's like really it's not like a thing. It's like, yeah, like it's like a
No, it's literally an
yeah, that.
Guys, did you get 8.5 for the side?
8.5. I got square root of 6 root 2.
So when I So when I say round to the nearest tenth, give me a decimal answer. I know you're very used to the radicals, but when we're rounding, that's what I want you to do, okay?
So like, what you guys want so far? Are you gonna do string or something? So where does all the ice missing pieces go?
Yeah, if it's like,
No?
you could use the 12. Yes.
Do you just go like
If you didn't round it, and even if it's a decimal, if it's exactly like 12.5, you could use that.
Is your special icing?
Right. But if you round it to get it, don't use it.
So some icing right there.
Yeah.
It's not just.
It's like right.
All right, guys, let's look at number 5. Did you set up, there's a lot of ways you could do it. I'm going to set up sine of x equals 3/9. You can certainly write 1/3 there. Again, what do I use on the calculator when I'm finding the angle? Inverse sine, yes. So, did you get 19.5 degrees for x?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, 70.5 for your y. Yes?
Can you just
Sure. So b was 12.
No, that's a lot of this. These three, let's just say, wait, these three, yes. I don't know. That's like, that's.
You good, Maddie?
It's like that.
All right, guys, any questions about the process of solving or finding any of those sides?
So you won't be there all weekend.
Do you have a printer? No. Oh, yeah.
Who are you finding?
I did. Yeah.
I mean, I got you. That doesn't.
Oh, it's not like another high school.
So, like,
Are
if
you
it was like
at the school?
the X and Y doesn't have to equal.
Wait, what's your?
X and Y have to equal 90.
They have to equal 90. So that's fine. Okay.
Yes, because you have the other 90-degree angle in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys, other questions?
So it's not.
Square.
Hey, Thomas, can you? Thank you.
is it rounded, at least for like 6 and it's 67? Or does it have to be?
So whatever, it's not really written in these directions. On your assessment, it will be very specific, like round to the nearest 100, round to the nearest 10, round to the whatever. So just make sure you do what the directions. Round wrong, you will lose. And we're going to get to where you have to store values to get the right answer. So if you round not right, I won't know if you didn't store or if you just didn't round right. So pay attention. But it didn't really say the direction. It was just me saying round to the nearest 10. Okay. All right, guys, word problem time. Yes, welcome back. How was it?
I apologize for that.
All right. So guys, real quick reminder of what angles of elevation and depression are. So let's say you're here looking up at the top of a tree. Okay. This angle in here where your eyes had to rise up to look at the top of the tree, that is the angle of elevation. Everybody's always good at that one. We okay with that? Like, it makes sense, like, you elevate your eyes, so, yeah. Yes, it's a lovely, odd triangle here that I've drawn, okay? The angle of depression, because here's kind of the little triangle we're looking at, right? Everybody thinks the angle of depression is this angle. It is not. Definitely not. What the angle of depression is from geometry, do you guys remember If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then alternate interior angles are congruent. Like those are words that maybe someone said to you once, okay? So this angle in here is the angle of depression. It is congruent to your angle of elevation. They are the same, okay? So in a word problem, when you see angle of depression, you can always just plug it in where the angle of elevation would go. So don't get scared by the words angle of depression. Just know that it really means the angle of elevation, okay? Sarah, do you want to grab one of these? Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's try to solve a couple here. So number one, we've got a fire started at a campsite located 8 miles from the base of a mountain. If the angle of elevation from the fire to the top of the mountain is 14 degrees, how high is the mountain? Try to draw the picture for me. You don't have to solve anything yet, but try to draw me a picture. Draw me a fun picture. Draw me a nice little campfire and a mountain. Add in anything else you would like to your camping scene. Well, let's see how you do with your pictures. It's because that was the last order. Yeah, so that was just like scratch. That's why I wrote on there. Did you see that?
I saw, but I don't know. I heard you say it.
Okay. I can look at it to make sure, like, you know it, or if there's any mistakes on there, okay? Draw me a fun picture, guys.
We don't even have the angle.
There is no pit. It's just a fire.
Every day.
I think you do. This is a tall mountain.
See, if I even had smoke right now. See,
Smoke, clearly. Okay, guys, so all of these pictures will have little right triangles in them, okay? The campsite is 8 miles away. Henry, you want to come grab one of these packets real quick? One. The angle of elevation, that's over here, is 14 degrees. What side of this triangle am I looking for? This one, right? Okay. What should I set up to solve this? 10? Yes, tangent of 14 equals x over 8. Guys, the directions say round all answers to the nearest thousandth. How many decimal places is that? 3. Okay, so what do we get? Yes. And I think we were miles, right?
1.995.
This is a pretty tall mountain.
Well, that's pretty kind of tall.
That would be a hike, guys. That would be a
That's tall.
All right, guys, questions on one? James, did you actually do a word problem?
We're not going to continue.
Then I think it's
Okay.
You know,
All right, try number 3. We're not doing all of these, guys. We're going to jump around a little bit. So do number 3 for me. Draw a ladder on a wall.
Wait for number 3.
Is this 32 the
Yep. Yes.
32
How we doing, guys?
Actually, wait, I have a question. Okay.
We're on number 3.
you probably did this.
I don't believe you, sir. You need a bigger person in your power.
Wait, so wait.
Chocolate.
I can't. Only do water as a water. Straw, that's only 16 years. Well, I'm not. I'm like pieces of seconds. More than 5 minutes. I think it's like 2 hours. So a little more than 5 minutes. I'm actually younger than this.
So high.
It really 10x.
We did the sine cosine tangent stuff at the beginning.
Oh, I'm not exactly like. Well, for one, I don't have a beard. Yeah, I think that
Okay, we have a wall.
yeah.
recognize the side post. You're not going to want to. And then
I'll distract people that
I'm going to be like party here.
And then, guys, x is what we're looking for there. Should I set up sine, cosine, or tangent here? Sine. And when I'm solving for an angle, what do I have to use? Yes, inverse sine. Did we get 34.229 degrees?
I did get that.
Excellent. Yes? Yeah, 14. So look at where x is. And then the 18 and the 32, do you see how that's the opposite side and the hypotenuse side? So that's why I picked sine. So here's the angle I'm looking at. This bottom side would be adjacent to it. 18 is opposite. You see it? Yeah, guys, let's go through the kite one too, and then we'll switch to our angles of depression.
32. How do you put this in the calculator?
Inverse sine, 18 over 32.
I wish I checked so.
All right, guys, her kite is 60 feet above the ground. Angle of elevation of 48 degrees, but her hand is 5 feet above the ground. So what am I actually using for that other side? 55. Then it says length of the string. That's the hypotenuse over there, okay? So sine, cosine, or tangent? Good job, Drew. And then algebraically, I end up with 55 over sine of 48. Did we get 74.010? Kind of weird with the rounding. Yeah, what's up, man? What? And then it says her hand is 5 feet above the ground. She's not holding it with her foot while she flies it, okay? Yeah. What? 0098, which makes it 10. I know, it's weird. All right, guys, we got to keep moving to a couple of angle of depression problems. All right, guys, number 8. We have a lighthouse and a boat. 8 on the lighthouse needs red stripes. Sure.
So it would still be JC.
Guys, the angle of depression is 28 degrees. Where should I put that? By the boat, right? The angle of elevation is also 28 degrees. We're looking for X down here. Back. Number 8. We're almost out of time. Time is flying today, guys. Should we use sine, cosine, or tangent? Yes. Shout it out when you get X. Yes. And this would be feet, right? What's the trouble, Julian?
How do you
Okay. I mean, you know what a lighthouse and a boat are. Okay. The vertical height of the lighthouse, that's up and down.
150.
Yeah. Angle of depression is the same as the angle of elevation. All right, guys, one more, number 10. We got Henry sitting in a tree.
The same as the angle of elevation. Why does it have two different angles?
Julian, why are you so angry about angles today? Angle of depression. Angle of depression is up there. They're congruent, yes. If you're looking for them in location of a picture, this is what they look like. But they are congruent values.
I'll take a rectangle with a big line in there.
Sure. Parallel lines and a transversal cutting. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Let me go through 10 real quick, guys. We have a tree. I can't draw a deer. Guys, what'd you get for number 10? All right, guys, we are almost out of time here. Very much out of time. Your homework is on Delta Math. Please bring your calculators next time as well. All through Skill 8, bring your calculators. Yeah, bye. What do you mean finish it?
I didn't do any of the skill.
You had a certain amount of time to do all of it. Thank you. I mean, I can give it back to you to do corrections.
I mean, it's not like graded, so I just wanted to see how good I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah. Come to work on time, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, have a good one. Roughly, I have a couple people.
Thank you for letting us know.
They have a seat next to the Bye, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Lake.
Yeah, I hope you find it.
I'll do it faster because my legs stopped. That was really excellent. Yeah, well, you know, yesterday.
That's sorry.
It doesn't smell bad. It just smells regular.
French vanilla.
And caramel. It's for their cookie bar.
Yes. Oh.
Alright, I'll see you later, man.
It's in the mystery of all year. Like, why is this scene always closed?
Okay.
Sounds like it used to be.
Oh, we have syrups? Mr. Holly said, Mr. Holly just stuff. He was in the mood today. That's nice and rare. So today it smells like coffee gone wrong. Not like all other stars. No, gone wrong. It smells good weird. Is that
I don't know.
okay? Guys, stars are not awesome.
Is anything graded?
Yeah, graded, yeah.
Is anything graded?
So, kind of. I got through some of it, but I was sick. I was out Friday, and then I was sick all weekend. So, I don't think you really want to be grading it, honestly.
Yeah.
I had a doctor. I promise I had a doctor.
Hi, Roger. How's that doctor's school?
Good. Don't ask Abel what happened.
Yo, what happened?
I had a doctor appointment, right?
Oh,
I had a doctor appointment, right? On Friday.
no,
On Thursday. On Thursday.
We're a doctor.
A doctor's appointment. Right, I had that on Thursday. When we had the test.
Oh, right. Oh,
Right. When we had that 80 degree weather.
no, it's like
For like everyone?
Did I say no? No. I just take your whole
But it's so much fun.
That's awkward. It made my day. What do you today? Yes. Like, I have it. It's not like you have it all day. Yeah, but not really. Like it should be more. So I'm trying to feel it. She was like one of them. She's got that. Some problems. I feel like first, like at least one of them. So, no, because I have the one. I think so. And then he added
That's like
Or that's literally you. Yo. Science City wasn't
Sorry.
One of my friends went up to the store. It was so happy. I mean, so first.
No. And then pictures of the second one.
That's crazy.
Y'all just say
Yeah, that's great. That made my day. That's and then there was one that was not animal.
Do you watch everything at the team?
I've been watching
Oh, I heard that about that.
so
Yeah,
bad.
I don't want to.
Dude.
I know you.
She did? Wow. Are you smiling at her games? Yeah.
That was your technically Dude, his brother, right?
It's not meant to be.
Let's see, Roger. Kira tests are in guided study, okay? Do you guys want to pass?
So wait, you're like a first year. Oh, like.
Yo, this is Manhattan Bagel over here. Can I come up here to make my coffee?
No. My advisory, they are all in.
They're really committed.
They are.
I like how you just accepted it.
Oh, I'm fine with it. 'Cause they like clean up after themselves and they run it. So yeah. And it's a 50-minute test, so you'll have 75 if you need it. So.
I
There
got
you go.
76.
Oh, you didn't. You got 50.
Wait, Mr. Wait, did I
This is it. One more.
get 50 though?
50.
Can I have the other 25?
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Can I have the other 25? I gotta look something up for you. Let me look at it. All right, guys. We're starting skill 8 today. It is the last skill of the trig stuff. Okay. Ooh, I don't think I ever pushed stop on my recorder. Hold on.